till it gets hot.
Hey, I'll give you one guess. Why do I love the South?
Because it's hot.
Food.
Come on now.
They eat full course meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh man, bro. Yep, that's my life. That's my lifestyle. Feed me, I'll be happy.
Yeah. So you must like seafood too, then, huh?
Bro, I mean, I don't think there's a food I hate. To be honest.
You'll eat anything. I won't eat him first.
Oh, okay.
Facts. Yeah. But yeah, just these dog shows really, you travel for them. You get to taste the different cuisine in different regions of the country. I love it. I'm surrounded by the pilgrims, brother. So it's all the same. It's all the same kind of food. I got Amish people everywhere, and it's all the same.
Oh, okay.
Comfort food.
At least the furniture is well.
Furniture is well crafted, yo.
Hey, that's and heavy. So
yeah, that's real wood.
Oh yeah, I used to deliver for kiddos, so trust me.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Frenchie is killing me with the farts.
Frenchie farts, man. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I've heard.
Oh, you don't do Frenchies? No.
I haven't yet. I mean, I got a Frenchie. Well, my girl got one, but
Yeah.
I haven't converted over.
Warning: if you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
I don't give a damn about what you saying, bitch, you in the way. Closed case, my nigga beat the charges like yesterday. In your face, I'ma go hard and make sure you see the cake. Keep the pace, ain't no one fucking with me, this not a race. Doing it, making my way to the top, I told you to ride, I told you to get in. Now you can't eat out my pot, it's filled to the top, and I'm about to dig in. You say I was doing you wrong.
Welcome to the Go Rogue Podcast. Joining us this evening is Brian Trammell. Right? I get that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You did.
Trammell. Check that out. That'd be a first. I think
not to be confused with a baseball player.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know how many.
I mean, I wish.
Exactly.
We'll trade wallets. We could trade.
Yeah, we could definitely trade wallets.
Hear you. So you say you was in Indy?
Yes, sir. Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay, so. So has your weather officially let up there, or you're kind of
man, it was like 70 the other day. Now it's like 40. And the Midwest, man. What you gonna expect?
Yeah, that's crazy.
40.
Yeah, the weird part is we're not that much south of you guys. Like if you look at us as far as across the map,
laterally.
Yeah, but use your big ass words. But
right.
For some reason, it just gets warmer here quicker. Like it I don't know. It's weird. Y'all still getting snow, and we're like, I've done mowed my grass 3 times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to say something, man, before we get started, man. I'd like to appreciate the invitation. And like I was telling Hans the other day, man, I could finally scratch this off my bucket list because it was on there. It was coming on here. It was on my bucket list, so I appreciate it, man, and gratitude.
Yeah, no
problem at all.
Very welcome to come aboard. Yeah, absolutely.
So as we sit around, we talk about who we're going to bring on, and like when I connect, I think we had talked at Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah,
saw some of your dogs there. That was fresh in my mind, even though it's been a while. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring him on eventually, But yeah, so no problem at all. So let's just jump in it a little bit. What got you into breeding American Bully?
Let's see. Well, I've started probably like 2017, and when I first started. The vision was a little different. I was actually into taller dogs and seeing more of the standard. Now that I know the size wise, they was probably more standards and stuff like that. And I had a friend of mine had some American bullies. They're about standard. I used to breed pits and have pits growing up and stuff like that. And so I told him whenever he had a litter that I was gonna, grab one. So I wound up grabbing it and realized I know nothing like this is nothing like the pit bull. Like I had to relearn the whole dog, the allergy issues, especially because I always like the all white dogs. And so I get an all white bully, and then it's just like, you know.
Man,
So
they're allergic to air.
man, so
All white
it was a
bullies.
learning experience. Yes, sir. It was a learning experience converting over, but started going to the shows and I seen a XL that had pocket features. It was from YO Bullies. His name was Champion Hayden.
Oh, wild bullies.
Oh man, it's so that gave me a different perspective on what I had because I had more of a classic standards type American Bully, but I didn't want that tall of a dog. So I had to, go back into being a fan, seeing what was what, and I realized the pocket was, more or less the my style of dog per se.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah. And then and then just fell in love with him then, and
Right.
became a fan first, and
I
here
don't
we
think
are.
that's unusual for any of it. I think a lot of people have that same similar story. Or like, yeah, I
Oh
got the
yeah.
American Bully, and then I realized this is not what I want.
Right. He said this ain't it. Like,
This ain't it. Yeah.
And it's tough. It's really tough, especially when you don't know the breeder. If to get that ideal dog, you're probably not going to get it, number one, because they're not going to sell it.
Right.
Or two, if you do get it, you just got lucky because they didn't think it was going to turn out necessarily, or they at least didn't think it was the best one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And so when I wound up looking, I wound up coming across Lucky Luciano.
There you go.
And he had like everything that I wanted. He had the head shape, he had the drive, he had everything that we would like for a dog to be. You still kind of want a dog to be mobile, active, do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, like I said, that's where a lot of it just switched, and it was like, okay, let me learn this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one blood that everyone should keep in their yard as a tool. To this day, I still got Lucky blood in my yard.
They and that blood is so dominant too in its gene pool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You could tell a lucky dog generations later. You could tell.
Yeah. And then just wound up converting over, and I actually wound up getting in contact with Alex and purchased a Blue Dream Daughter.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was one of the first ones, and then I wound up grabbing a son off of the Hades, the King Champion Hades, the one I was telling you about, because I just was a fan of the dog.
I like
moves around a little bit.
Of his newer generation, I really like Riot.
Oh, I love Riot.
I don't know if you got to see Riot or not in person, but
yeah, oh yeah,
big fan of Riot. I like
Riot's head is incredible.
Yeah, I love his headpiece. I love it. Actually, my first breeding, well, he was the second. My first choice was another dog, but my first breeding that I actually had was to him. She just didn't take.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Austin Woods wanted to know: did you get a golden child female with a golden child to Serenity?
No, I didn't. No. Wanted to, but no, I didn't.
I hear you. So yeah, go ahead.
So you fell in love with the XL, but you wanted a shorter dog. So then you realized that the pocket style American Bully is more of your ideal dog, right? And when you discovered Lucky and you purchased a Dream Daughter, right? What did you What'd you end up doing with her? You had an XL male and you had a pocket American Bully female.
Well, he actually, the male we got actually wound up being a standard.
Oh,
Yeah, so they bred champion Hades to, I will probably say, a borderline standard, probably pocket type female,
mm-hmm.
and we got a fine medium out of it.
Nice.
His name is Halo. Halo is a blue tribe, very beautiful dog. He's probably like 18 inches, or
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Uh,
That's a solid
and
standard.
yeah. Like I said, very nice, very well proportioned. And unfortunately, because it wasn't really planned, because like I said, the vision got shorter. So the plan was originally, I guess, buy these two dogs, boy,
Right.
female. These both bloods you like. These both two dogs that you seem very consistent of. Bam, make what you want. But once the goal or the vision switched up a little bit, we wind up, was going to take her to something else, more or less some Rocco blood or something like that. I had Merlin and Lala, and I have Caprice, which is the Blue Dream daughter, over there with my cousins. And then Halo and Caprice wind up, accidentally breeding
They had a
twice.
romantic candlelit dinner.
Yeah, yeah. So, but honestly, out of that litter, we did get some nice pockets. Like the crazy thing about that is that even though he's so much taller,
Mm-hmm.
majority of the dogs came out pockets. I mean, no high rear, and so that's why I try to tell a lot of people, that Lucky Blood is I'm a witness to say it cleans up a lot of stuff. I bred a small pocket to a standard dog, and I still got clean, tight feet. It's
Mm-hmm.
not overly done features, but
Right.
it's real nice. Came out real nice. So yeah, so that wound up happening twice, unfortunately, and so we just put her up. She got like one more, so she's just chilling for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what led you to the Merle? Like, obviously you said, okay, now I want pockets, and then now we've transitioned to the Merle. And what kind of time frame are you looking at, breeding wise, before you kind of introduced the Merle into it?
Actually, it was kind of close. Let's see, Maryland's, I want to say 3, about to be 4. So it started early 18, 19. When I first started in the Merles, the one thing that I seen is that, in my opinion, only my opinion, that it wasn't perfected. And so what I wanted to do is jump into it to see if I could perfect the dog or get what now we call more breed type. So I've seen a lot of the Merles coming up was more snipey. They didn't have a lot of bone. That's where your Earl the Merles and a lot of these other famous dogs, Merle dogs, came from, and they made a stamp. But to me, it just wasn't my vision. And
Right.
so I came across, I want to say Jordan. I can't remember his name. That got McLovin. He's overseas and
Mm-hmm.
did the homework on his blood. They carried the Haka blood, and I wound up coming across a gentleman named Nikos Brown. And what I seen with him is that having a conversation with him after doing my homework on him is that he broke it down like a science. Possibly because the man used to breed fish, so you got to be real detailed when it comes to certain things, especially with genetics and colors.
Mm-hmm.
So what he was doing with it was more classic type Merles, right? But still breed type face features
Mm-hmm.
and breeding. What he had was a Magoo son law to that. And so what I seen what he was doing and speaking to him, his vision was kind of like mine. Is like I want the dog to be in the show ring. Because one thing I tell people is that you can see a dog all day, but until you go to the show and you see structure and you see movement and you see certain straight feet, it's like you can't not unsee it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when seeing the Merles, you seen a lot of them. Those were the lacks or the things that they had. And so I wound up reaching out to him, and I believe he had a Lucky Luciano litter that I was going to get something out of, and I had second pick, and I think Bleach only had like one female out of it, and that's when he offered Merlin, champion and Merlin, the one that I have now. And at first I was like, I don't know, it's just not what I wanted. I waited this long just to get into it because one, it was something off of a dog that I looked up to that actually got me into the bullies, and two, it was bringing the color and the structure to something that I wanted to. And we worked out something. It was his first pick. So he gave me a price. He was like, either you could wait or I got this other litter. And I'm like, let me see what that other litter's about. And so when I seen that, the other litter, I seen that it was line bred also. So it was a lost son to a lucky daughter, which is Candy Crush.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom, it was, it was the Magoo son-in-law bred to a Merle. So I seen it was line bred, and it was real tight and put together. You see what I'm saying? And the pattern was also another thing that caught my eye because with most Merles, some of them you see it might be patchy, some might be spotty, some might be like a Merle type pattern to it. And so with his, I've seen a lot of that pattern stay consistent with the Merles he was breeding. And so I just felt like if I would to jump into it, because which a lot of people have the misunderstanding that people jump into Merles for money, which I feel that it's harder to breed Merles because the females lack so much breed type. So to have Merles with breed type is hard to do. That's just my personal opinion.
I mean, I feel like I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, Merles that lack type or breed characteristics were still selling for like $20,000.
Crazy,
you know what I mean? And people really didn't give a fuck about the structure of the dog, the build, the the overall aesthetics of this dog, who, in my opinion, was an American bully, but just had a Merle pattern, and that's that. I mean, those pups flew off the shelves. You know what I mean? And it's not until as of recent where it's like, oh yeah, that's an American bully. Like you were saying, like snipey muzzles and shit like that. 4 or 5 years ago, it just, as long as it was Merle, it was sold.
You said that's all they cared about.
That's all they cared about.
I mean, I feel that if you do breed or have a more bulldogish features, or if you need, it's just you got to know how to breed. So if I have more of a bulldogish Merle, I'm going to take it to some very clean stuff. I'm going to take it with a female with a lot of breed type, very cheeky, short, not very short muzzle, but I need to have a muzzle because I need you to breed well. You see what I'm saying? And then I guarantee you might get a fine medium. And to me, that's at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want the girth, but you also want to breed to the standard. You want cheeky, you want almond shaped eyes, you want structure, you want the gait, and that was one of the things that I felt that was just lacking with the Merles. And so that was one of my goals from jump, was just to try to get a Merle in the show ring. I didn't even know if it was possible. You know what I mean? I went to the BRC and I had RJ Lloyd. Shout out to him, because I tell you, without him, I wouldn't have that. And that's just because he forced me so much to, hey man, she's nice, bro. You need to go in the ring, or you need to do this. And I'm like, man, she cool. She ain't old enough.
Cool. Yeah.
And then he was very adamant about it. And they wound up champing him out. I put Merlin and Kelsey hands and in his hands for them to show. And I believe she was the first Merle champion of the BRC. And
Oh,
I
beautiful.
think she was the first Merle. Crypto came up. We was like head to head. And then he went on his run to do the grand champion. Shout out to him for the Merle movement. And yeah, so that was.
Hey, sometimes it takes, 'cause we look at our own dogs every day,
Yeah.
and they look, they look the same. Sometimes it's that outside perspective. It's like, now you got something on your hands. You need to let the world see this,
Yeah, it's
So
definitely needed, man.
There's no
shout
doubt
out
about
to
that.
all the people.
It seems like especially the more time I spend around a dog and look at it, the more I'll find something wrong with it. Like,
Man.
I just keep seeing, and then I convince myself, okay, this is a breed tool. I can't use it. Yeah, I can't bring it to the show ring. And then I'll take it to a show or something and walk it around, and people are like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, put that dog in the ring." Like,
Yeah, put that dog in the ring.
like, I get it, but when you have an overall vision, like, okay, this is what I want to see for the breed in X years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So every new generation of dog is like that dog that could be what you were shooting for ahead of time, but you're fully prepared that it's not, right? Because you had plans for it to take so long. So I don't get overly, I get overly critical. I know that. So if I see a dog and I feel like it's okay, maybe, whatever, I'll always let someone else look at it. And they'll, generally they're like, "What the hell are you talking about? It's fine."
Yeah.
Hey, I feel at some point, Roger, it's maybe that we see our goal so far ahead that it's not that we don't appreciate what we're doing now, but it's that it's like our goal is so much more than what we have in our possessions right now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we can't really look at it as that because this is the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? Like who I got my Merle from Winikos. I feel like he had other Merle breedings prior, but Merlin is more his finished product when it comes to it. You see what I'm saying? Because the other ones, they still, they was nice, but they didn't have structure and all that, everything that Merlin has. And I mean, even he could vouch for it. They was amazing bulls, but finishing product, I feel that I was blessed.
So let's get into a little bit about, because you had mentioned, you had a mentor, and how much did that allow you to kind of shortcut the game? To just like
a lot.
Have all this stuff available to you, just like at the shoot of a message. You know what I mean?
Nico Brown's word, privilege information. It's a lot of conversations we had. A lot of conversations. When people say pay for constellation to have these conversations, I tell people, if you value and trust that person, it is money well invested.
Yeah.
Because you are skipping so many years of trying to figure it out yourself.
Right.
That when you have somebody whose intentions are right, because a lot of people get with mentors and they don't put them in the right direction, or their intentions don't be pure.
Right.
So sometimes that would just mislead people to something that it's not. But when you have someone that is genuine, and like I can't stress enough, intentions are good. You see what I'm saying? It could definitely give you a shortcut to where you're going, because I have problems with a breed or I have a question, I can call him and we're having real conversations. And it's been to the point I'll be like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry for calling you so much." And he was like, "Nah, relax. I know when you call me, it's for a reason. I know when you call me, we're going to have a real conversation that's going to lead to something that we're going to piggyback off of." You see what I'm saying? And go back and forth with. So, mentors to me are very important if you can find the right one.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the hardest part. I see a lot of people, they post on Facebook and they're like, yeah, because there's a ton of information. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff there's a ton of stuff I know. And even though we have this podcast, we still don't share a lot of it because some people are not ready to have this information.
Exactly.
They're just not mentally prepared.
Exactly.
if honestly, my mentor, if he would have at the beginning when I first got the dog, if he would have said, "Here's all the things you're going to do," I'd have been like, "Fuck this, take this dog back." Not doing that. You know, because your brain accepts it over time. So I'm sure he probably kind of eased you into, the process, like learn what you needed to learn at that moment. And then as you evolved yourself, your questions evolved. And then, of course, his answers evolved.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it benefited me a lot. I ain't gonna lie, I got about 3 people I go to when I got questions on stuff. Alex is one of them. Nico's Brown. Shout out to them. Julius Wallace. Shout out to him. Like, and that's just because to me they all break the dog down in different ways.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I talked to Nico, he could break the dog down in a scientific way. I could talk to Julius. He's in the weightlifting, so he's gonna break the dog down like a bodybuilder. So there's many different ways certain people can, comprehend what somebody's trying to teach. Is just the teacher, I guess. And you got to be teachable. You got to be willing to listen.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't want to learn. Like,
that's the thing. A lot of these people, they want mentorship. They want guidance, but they're not receptive to the information given them. You know, a part of the key part to a successful mentorship is the comprehension and the receiving of the knowledge given. You know, because I can tell you my experience all day long. I could tell you what works, what didn't work. It's up to you to hold that in and utilize it,
Right. And then adapt it for you, because it might not be the same.
Adapt it exactly.
Yeah, but we also got to do our due diligence to ourselves to do our own homework.
Right.
We got to do our own research. I'm not saying question your mentor, but sometimes saying not asking no or why might be a reason why you where you at. Sometimes you got to,
Yeah. And then, kind of what it's the weird part is trying to find those people as like, Nico's really willing to mentor people, but what's the threshold? Because you don't want to waste your time at the same time, right?
Oh yeah.
You got to know that the guy is serious. So there's a couple things. You'll see a person putting in work, right? They're putting in the work. You've talked to them several times. You see that they're working hard trying to get to their goals, but maybe they're a little unknowledgeable of situations. But hey, they've been doing this for a year already. They're not quitting, obviously.
Right.
Those are people, you kind of reach out to. The other primer I feel like is money. Obviously, if you come to me and you're spending X amount of dollars buying dogs from me, that also shows a percentage of seriousness, right? Because not people are going to lay down a certain. Now, I'm not saying you buy a $2,500 dog, but you came in, your intent was to buy like a badass dog. You've invested good money. You kind of assume at that point that maybe they're going to take that seriously, but not always the case. But
my thing with that is that you have a lot of people that come in and they will use their money to try to, skip years ahead, and nothing's wrong with that. But at the same time, once again, you got to do your own homework. You got to do your own, because you could have all the dogs in the world that's $1 million dogs, but if we don't know what to do with them,
right?
Yeah,
it's just not that good of an investment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because I didn't have people to spend nice money, and I tell you right now, I got MG2 brother. He's on the couch, and ain't nobody seen him. And you probably won't see him because he's on the couch. Like, you see what I'm saying? So yeah, I appreciate the sale, but I think people still need to be a fan. I say that. Be a fan of the art that we do. Be a fan of the breed, and a mentor would be more likely to take you on because you are a fan first.
Right. Yeah, I would always say you have to pay the tuition. You either pay with my time, right?
Definitely.
Or you pay definitely. One of the two. You're paying.
Yeah.
So you pay the tuition into the game. But I see what you're saying about a lot. We see people that try to shortcut the game, right? They'll come in and someone will have a popular dog and they'll offer them just stupid money for the dog, and the guy ends up selling them the dog. But what you'll know about this community is money will buy you a really nice dog. Money won't buy you shit when it comes to respect. You got to earn it.
It's real dog people in this community.
That's
and
right.
one thing Alex told me that somebody, man, I don't care how much money somebody, I know that ain't a dog person.
Right.
Right.
And in our community, we respect dog people more than we do the dollar. That
That's
I seen. The real dog men that I talking to y'all, like I feel that we respect the dogs and the art more than the money. I mean, it's a plus. We're not doing it for no reason. This is not a broke man sport at all.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a broke man sport at all.
I mean,
but
it'll make your ass broke.
It'll make you broke. Yeah.
Oh, boy, what? Yeah, definitely get you there.
Yeah. What the thing about that is like you got to be willing to invest money.
Oh yeah.
And too many times there are examples of people that were in the breed for a very short time and they rose to a high level. And then those people were put on a pedestal, and those are the people that people shoot to be like. Like they say, oh, he bought a dog, and 2 years later, he made $1 million on dogs. Well, that may be the truth, but the truth of the matter is that most people's journey is not that.
Right.
But
that's why I tell people it's explaining what you just said. Like I can come in and spend this, but the lack of knowledge isn't gonna get you nowhere, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not gonna get you nowhere.
You could have the baddest ass dog in the world, but if you can't get him collected right, you can't get the semen to your clients, you don't know how to manage, dealing with progesterone numbers, you don't know none of that because you just bought a dog, then it's going to fall off quick for you, right? Because
that's the community. Hey, when you think about it, not really the community, that's just society. Like people respect money more than they do the actual work, right?
Well, they think because of the money, the work was there,
and half the time it's not.
Yeah.
So,
but everybody's journey is different. And you see legitimately people that work hard for 2 or 3 years and build a program for themselves. And then I've seen people that were clearly working just as hard as that guy, but they're 5-6 years in and they still haven't got to a certain level, and everybody's journey is different. Everyone's journey is different.
Definitely different.
Yeah. So does that pop in? Oh man, what you doing?
Man, what are you doing?
That's who?
That's the dinner bell. Is that the dinner bell?
You know who that was.
I'm hungry.
Texting me. So yeah, I mean, everyone's journey is different. Don't put too much of an expectation on where you're going to be in a certain amount of time. Just don't say, "Hey, in 2 years, I want to be making $100,000 a year on dogs," because that might not be.
That's very few.
Not gonna happen. Yeah, I mean that's just. I mean we gotta look at just how. What's the word I'm looking for? This is how society is on spending money. Like it's not how it used to be. I mean, because bill at the end of the day, bills ain't what they used to be, from gas to food. So I mean, we got to be mindful of that people still got families to take care of.
Let me ask you this: you seem to be very selective about your dogs, like what dog you're going to bring into your program. But have you in the past bought a dog, kept it for X amount of time, said this ain't it, and got rid of it?
No.
So everything you've ever purchased has been your keeper.
And this is why I try to explain to people doing your homework and being a fan first is very much important because I do calculated risk. And so I feel that I minimize my chances of a lot of things because I do my homework before anything. Like before I had litters, you can ask anybody to know me. I knew who I was breeding the Merle off top. He was like, "Oh man, we want a Merle female tag Brian." RJ wife be like, "He already know what he's doing. Don't tag him. He already know who he's going to. He going to this because what'd you say?"
No, I was like saying, just don't mess with him. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, like because I felt that now beforehand, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before I got what I would call my higher echelon dogs, the first ones that I had wasn't that. But what they call bartering. I sold one, had my kennel partner had one that I bought that one, sold another one, took that money and bought Merle.
Right. Well, That's what I mean. Like the ones that don't, we bought one. You said, okay, this ain't the vision.
Oh yeah. But that happened. That was like early. That happened early. I say like 4 years ago.
All right.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Everything since then. Yeah, because like I said, my vision just got more clear. It was like, okay, well, this is the blood you needed. Because I came in a time where I wasn't aligned to nobody. I wasn't Rocco, Venom, Lucky. I liked all dogs.
Right.
So I was able to pick from the China boys and all them and not be biased about it because I had no alliance towards the blood.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it was easier for me to say, okay, well, I like that one. So I read a pedigree. All right, them two matches. I seen that, all that match. All right, all that click. And so it's all gonna be a risk, but
Yeah.
I feel the more homework you do, the less risk you get. But yeah, to answer your question, that happened early.
Yeah. Well, and that was the point. Is like I think we don't really stress to people enough that you bought that dog, but that doesn't mean that you got to stick with it. You know what I mean? Like you bought that dog.
Sometimes it's okay to start over.
Yeah. If it's not the dog, you got to let it go. You got to quit, because all you're going to do is continue breeding to stuff that is not going to get you where you want to be, or it's going to take you 5, 6, 7 generations to get you where you want to be, where you could have just got rid of that dog and bought something closer to the target.
Yeah, I tell people because I help a little people out on a mentor that it's okay to start over, man. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to save the community because we're not putting dogs that aren't what we want in the community, I guess.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like it sounds harsh, but it just saves a lot for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, no, I've done and I think that's having pride in your name, your yard's name. If you have that, then you start to think, okay, every dog I let go out of my yard with papers represents my yard.
Right, exactly.
If I sell this screwy shit to people, it's got my name on it. You know what I mean? And then they're gonna go and they're gonna post, they're gonna take pictures of it, put it on Facebook. If this dog's effed up, it's got my name all over it. They're gonna be like sharing it. This RBC so and so, you know what I mean? So,
right.
No,
well, I'm glad you get that. Oh my God, I'm sorry to cut you off, man, because I just had this conversation with somebody because I had a litter, and I thought that the female was gonna be about first pick. To me, she wasn't. I had another Merle, or I had the Merle out the litter. I told him, I said, look, bro, I'm not a fan of her that much, and I know how much you go to shows. And because I told you this is what I offered him my first pick of my house. Because I know that when you go out in public, like what you said, this is a product of where you got this dog from. And I wanted him to have the best look. Now, granted, it was something little. Like it was a feat. Something real tedious. You know what I'm saying? But he loved the dog. So, but yeah, that's one of the big things I try to tell people. It's okay to do that, bro.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Too many people hold on too tight to what they shouldn't be holding on to, and willing to put shit out there with their name on it that they shouldn't
be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you can buy it if you want because it's relatively healthy, or something's wrong with it, tail's too short, whatever it is that makes it a no-go for you.
Right.
You can certainly sell that dog with no papers as a pet.
As
far as the pet owner they don't give a shit.
They don't. Yeah.
If that dog had no tail at all, they wouldn't give a damn. If it can run across the house, jump up on the couch, and lick them on the face, boom, that's the best dog
they care about.
Right. Yeah.
So it's funny. It's funny you mention that because we have puppies right now, and Samantha deals with all that. I'm too impatient with people. Like, I'm like, hey, bro, you can't have this dog. You too green. You ain't ready for a dog. And we just end the conversation. But like, we had this pup, and Samantha was talking to somebody like, so why is this pup in particular? You're trying to pet home this pup. When she said, she's a little straight in the stifles. And they're like, what does that even mean? And so she, and in her mind, they're like, that's the perfect pet home.
Yeah.
Right.
They give two shits about what this dog. They just want to love this dog.
Right.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. But those are things you gotta let go. You can't hold on to things that aren't going to progress your breeding program. You know?
Or it could be like, Roger, I'm pretty sure you've been in this situation. You just ain't got enough room. You can't keep it all.
Can't.
Yeah.
You want to, you know what I mean? But now you look up and you got 4 dogs out the same litter. You like, dang.
Yep. Yeah,
I
in
need to
those
do something with
cases, if I can find a person, because I am a bit particular on who I co-own with.
Oh yeah.
If I can find a person that I'm comfortable co-owning with, my video disappeared. Hold on.
See ya, bro. Have a good night.
Am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
We
can hear you.
My video.
But you look like a target right now, bro.
I'm gone right now. Like my
You're
video.
gone.
But anyway, for trying to find someone to co-own with is tough, especially when you feel like you do have a good quality dog that you can offer somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's one of the hardest parts. Honestly, I had to go pick up one of my first picks from a co-own from a gentleman that wasn't taking care of it right. So yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Damn, Roger.
It says,
yeah.
Click the camera icon.
What's the matter with your shit? For I don't know, we're a little weird. We're extremely particular on who gets breeding rights. You know, we would much rather pet home a phenomenal litter than sell one to the wrong people with breeding rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is your name on that. And what they do with that dog is still associated with your name. You know what I mean? I sell we produce a phenomenal litter.
Hey there, Roger. There you go.
Guess
hey,
who?
Hey, Roger. There you go.
Oh man, how you doing?
And we find homes and we sell them with breeding rights. And unfortunately, we sold them to unethical breeders, and they're breeding them way too early. And like that dog's got our name, our kennel associated with it. You know what I mean? It wasn't our decision, but it's just something, we want to avoid. So yeah, we'll have the most phenomenal litter and be happy. We pet home every single one of them.
Yeah.
But that's just part of it. People don't understand, man.
So have you, from the beginning, whelped your litters? Like, how did you progress as far as that concerned? Like when you first got started, you had your first litter.
Actually, my kennel partner, he whelped the first two. The last one, the only litter I whelped was actually my R2 litter. That was my first time whelping a litter. I had 10 puppies. All 10 survived. Once again, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Because, hey, without the homework, I would have been ass out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Merle lost milk at, like, what's that, 4 in the morning one time? You feel me? Having 10 puppies, and she wasn't that nice of a mama. She didn't care about the dogs for about a week and a half after.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was an experience, but that's why I can't stress to people that doing your own homework helps you out in the long run so much. Because when I got put in that position, I knew what to do, and that's YouTube and just asking certain people, and just countless hours in learning.
Yeah.
And that was my first one.
When I got started, we didn't have, like, we had the internet, obviously.
Right.
I mean, I had access to a mentor, but being a computer person, I guess, everyone who's using this chat GTP shit for different stuff. They were drawing pictures of people and doing all kind of dumb shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And I started looking into, okay, if it has categorized the entire internet into this one little box, then it probably knows some shit about breeding. So I would just spend hours like talking to Chat GTP, asking it questions, and then comparing that to what my mentor would say, what Han would say, what other people would say, to see how accurate it was. I get a new what the hell is that thing? It's lost my mind. Incubator.
I was just about to say that.
Get a new incubator, and I'm like, I wonder what the oxygen per liter I should do in this particular incubator. Go in Chat GP, say, hey, search the internet. How much oxygen should I be putting in this incubator? It'd come back with a number, and then I can kind of compare that. And after a while, I learned to trust it. So that's just another tool we have now. You can go there, and ask it questions about puppies. You can ask it questions about whelping. You can ask it all kind of damn questions, and it will answer them. It will generate an answer for you. Most of the time, it tells you to go see your vet. But
you did your homework.
Yeah. Well, what it does is like it will give you an answer, right? But then it'll tell you to go to your vet because it has to cover its own ass, right? You can't.
Right.
Well, Chat GTP told me to throw my dogs out the window and they'd be fine.
Yeah. Right.
But
that right there is different.
Another great tool that I probably a lot of people aren't utilizing yet, but for me, it's something I can use on a regular basis. I can just throw a question at it, and in the app version, they have a version you can click on it and talk to it, and it'll talk back to you. Right? I don't know how many times I'm leaving my business in Bridgeport and I'm driving home, and I'm just having a conversation with Chat GTP about some other breed.
Damn.
How did this breed become? What are some of the things about this breed? And just talking about breeds, and this thing just rattles off facts that's absorbed from the internet. So it's a great tool.
My fault. One thing that I felt that helped me a lot when it came to that is that I learned from whelping from exotic breeders and Frenchie breeders. I felt that what they did and how they did it was real tedious to what we had to deal with because they had to deal with more health issues and so what. That how that they, I ain't gonna say have more experience, but they had to.
They have more worst case.
That part,
they have more worst case experience, right?
Yeah,
you're dealing with dogs that have palate issues, really smashed muzzles, not the greatest functionality at times. Depending on how deep these breeders are into their exotics, but yeah, they deal with a lot, So that's a smart thing, picking their brain, because
I was milking the crap out of it, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So diving into the Merle, what are some of the things, like let's say somebody wants to get into breeding Merle.
Okay.
Like, what are some fundamental rules that you were given about breeding Merle that you think anyone trying to get into Merle breeding should know?
Well, the first would be, the obvious no Merle to Merle. That'll probably be the first strict rule that we enforce to them, The second is just being aware of the health issues on both parts. And I think that's just genetics in general, but especially dealing with the Merles. And knowing patterns and color wise, because you might get a cryptic Merle.
Right.
And then here you go. You thought it was just a regular colored dog, and you didn't do no DNA testing or embarking or none of that. And now you done bred it to a Merle, and now you have a lot of hurtful dogs. You see what I'm saying? So the Merle would be the first one, and just learning, how to breed. So me personally, when it comes to getting breed type, I would express to them the female plays a major role so far as what I've seen, more or less than just with the regular bullies when it comes to Merle. One, because I don't know, I just feel it's a stronger genetic that it's hard to breed type into if the female doesn't have it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh no, 100%. If you look at, we've got Ice Age, and if you look at Ice Age, but you look at the ped, and you look at his mama, he looks just like his mama, up and down.
Yeah, see?
He's a golden child son, but when you look at him, you're like, he is the same pattern as his mother. That blue Merle, just up and down. He looks like his
Yeah.
mom. There's little differences you can tell where golden child was involved there, but for the most part, he looks like his mama. So, but yeah, that the reason I mentioned that is, looking forward, we're all like, hey, ABKC, what's up? Like, why can't we bring our Merles in the ring? We want to bring our Merles in the ring. They will never tell you this, but after I sit down and have a conversation with different people from ABKC, they won't necessarily put it in so many words, but it's pretty obvious that the concern is we don't want to popularize Merle because we don't think the community is going to breed it responsibly.
Responsibly, yeah.
I could see that. I get that.
And that's their big thing. Oh, wow. I don't know if we, if we allow the Merle to come in the ring, then people are going to jump on Merle because it's the latest thing. If we keep it suppressed, then people are still going to breed it, but we don't want to be responsible for bringing on 1,000 new Merle breeders that won't do their homework and learn how to do it properly.
Right.
People are already breeding them irresponsibly. I don't think that's
I was
going
just
to have
about to
any
say that.
effect on whether it's accepted in the ABKC or not. Because, I mean, standard colored breeds are accepted in the ABKC, and people still breed those irresponsibly. So I don't know where the argument is, to be honest.
Well, I mean,
I think, to me, in my opinion, I think the hesitation is the inconsistency in the breed type of the Merle American Bully. You have a lot of terrier style Merles when the registry itself is pushing breed type, right? Let's get consistent in Merles with consistent, breed type all around the board. Like, one thing that we always say like is really cool is like certain grand champion classes, like every dog in there is breed type. It just exudes breed type. I think they want their class dogs, when they accept the Merle, to have the same effect.
Right.
Like there's no denying that that's an American Bully.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that doesn't work either, because you can literally show up with a dog that I would certainly not call an American Bully, and they will allow it to wear the badge and put it in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it seemed like it had to have been the health issue. It had to be the fact that even if it was 50 people, they didn't want to be responsible for 50 more people breeding it. But now we're having that conversation more out in the open. We've had Dave on a couple of times. A couple of times we've had this conversation about, what's up with the Merle. He won't say anything, but just like last week, what did we say? Hey, get your Merle ready.
Yeah.
Get your Merle ready. Because at the end of the day, if the Merle's showing up and you can't have it in a ring, but it's there, it's walking around, and a judge looks at that dog and he can't make an excuse why that dog shouldn't be in the ring, it's going to be real tough to hold him out.
And that was my goal, and I kind of got that with MG. With the litter in general, I ain't gonna lie, his brother Gates a little bit better to me, in my opinion. But the goal is to bring them a dog that they can't deny.
Exactly.
To bring them a Merle. I don't know if I can't remember who said it, Dave or David, but to bring them a dog that is undeniable.
That was Dave.
Like here's the Merle, here's the breed type, and I can show you consistency. Here's the mother, here's the sister. You see what I'm saying? And just keep it going. I agree that they probably withhold it, because when you think about it, for them to accept it now, it has to be complete.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like they can't half step it. Like the have it in the ring with every other bully that's out there, it has to be an undeniable breed type feature that's going on. And honestly, we're just I don't want to say we're not there yet, but there's also up on the breeders ourselves to understand how to breed it. You see what I'm saying? So if I have a more bulldog type Merle, I need to breed it to a more cleaner type dog to get my fine medium. Keep that one. Move on. You see what I'm saying? So, but now you got people going for girth to girth. So I want extreme features, and I'm gonna go to this other dog because it's extreme because it got bows in the elbows, and now you done mixed all that with a Merle. So now your breed type to me it just dwindles down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like it's important to breed the champions and dogs that are solidified.
Right. Yeah, and so I think it's just a matter. Honestly, I think it's a matter. It's going to get to the point. Well, I won't even say that. I'm not going to say this because I want somebody doing it and then be like, "Why'd you say that?" But I think it really is just a matter of time. The more great examples, and that would be the other thing. I guess they probably wouldn't want to say, "Hey, we like the Merle, bring the Merle," right? And then a bunch of pity ass looking Merle show up. And you got a bunch of new dogs that you're going to be kicking out into the classic class, so you really didn't add anything to the breed if the right types of dogs don't show up. So, that's why I was kind of saying to you, absolutely, keep doing what you're doing, keep breeding the dog that you want to bring to the ring. Because the reality is that Merle steps in and it is not just another dog in a ring, but within the top 3 of the dogs in there being judged against non-Merles.
Right.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to be like, he's got the breed type, the dog's healthy, he was bred correctly, obviously. So I find it hard to believe that they could hold out much longer. And
I don't think so.
Yeah, I really don't. And I think this kind of fun show thing is the first step. Well, 2 things. I feel like, A, we're trying to get the community back together because we've segregated it, right?
I agree.
You got rid of the fun shows. You got rid of a huge segment of the breed. And you told them, we don't need you here no more. All we want show dogs, right? I don't know how many people have bred to more extreme dogs, have concentrated on just the extreme features, show up at a show and get bit by that show bug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I want a dog out there standing in the ring.
Right.
But if you're not there, you're not getting bit by it. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Right.
Stuff happen. And not only that, but people that are breeding for show dogs have always looked to dogs that don't show. They've looked toward those more extreme dogs that don't show. They could have some fundamental flaw, but they have this great feature that adds to the breed. And they say, okay, I'm going to breed my generational show dog to this extreme dog, trying to add this feature in. I may have to breed it another year or so to clean some stuff up, but hopefully I get that component that I really needed, whether it be a headpiece or muscle mass or whatever. Right. And then you're pushing the show dog to the next level, but it was from a dog that wasn't even in the ring. Right. And when those dogs aren't at the show, it makes it tougher. I've had people sit down at a show and have a conversation with me and just be like, this is what I want to do, but like, this is my situation. And like, my dogs just don't stack up anymore. These dogs are progressing too fast, and then you just point out a dog, like breed to that one. Like that's going to add to you, like, it's like they never even thought of it.
Right.
Because they got programmed. Like I breed to show dogs. Right. If you mention to somebody, breed to that extreme dog over there, and you'd think you just kicked them in the nuts. They're like, what?
Right.
Like, why would I do that? It blows their mind,
Yeah, and vice versa,
Right.
Everyone we've separated these communities, and we need to bring them back together because that's going to help push the breed forward.
Exactly. Right. That's going to give us a better dog, is to have extreme features with clean features too. You need that show quality.
And then obviously, if every weekend you go to a show, and it may not be in the ring, but if every weekend there's a Merle there because he's in the fun show or whatever, right? You begin to normalize it.
Mm-hmm.
And when things become normalized, it's a lot
They
easier.
become accepted. Yeah.
It's a lot easier. Just let that dog slide in, and it'll be, you know what's going to happen. It'll be a show. They'll be like, hey, what's his name show? We're going to allow the Merle in. You know what I mean? And then just like, you go to a show one day and there'll be a Merle standing in the ring. You know?
I mean, one day I wouldn't mind if they just. I mean, let me show one of them. I don't care about points or none of that. Just let me get in the ring with one so you can see that the dog gates like the rest. I have breed type like the rest.
Right.
You know.
Uh-oh. He did the same thing I did.
Damn.
Oh, sorry.
There you are. You're back.
Cut on.
Yeah, you're on.
Hear me?
Yeah, you're here.
Yep.
Oh.
You got no video? Can you hear me?
People, I don't know. I have this conversation far too often of people that.
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Yes. I breed for the show ring. I breed for structure. I breed the show dogs. You're just going to create.
I hear you.
The same that's out there. You're never going to progress the breed.
Right.
You know. Because eventually, today's
nobody's saying.
Jump out.
Eventually, today's current show dog.
There you go. You there?
We can hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
Why can't I hear y'all though?
It's still connected to your AirPods.
Turn your Bluetooth off.
It would be something. No, I don't know if I can go ahead and go back in. I don't know why I was doing this.
Here, watch it. Someone did it.
Like I can't hear it.
Boop. Okay, so I did him a favor. Hopefully, he'll just hit that link and come right back in.
Yeah.
Because I know I struggled too. I was like, I was trying to get my shit back on. I just had to turn off. Just had to go out.
Yeah.
So someone said, turn your Bluetooth off. Let me see if he comes back in.
Because you know what?
There he is.
Today's show dogs.
Okay, now we back.
There we go. See?
Now my alarm to feed my dogs cut on. That's
oh, okay.
That's funny.
I was like, hold on, what's going on? Where'd my sound go? I forgot what was saying. My fault, fellas.
A little staticky.
You said it.
Yeah, it's him. Your alarm's still going off, I think. I'm going to bet that was off and feeding back in.
Can you hear me now?
I got you. You hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Okay.
All right.
You're good. I sound like the static of your alarm. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay, good.
Good. But where were we before that all went down?
Man,
who knows?
Who knows?
Breeding dogs.
Yeah.
Show dog to show dog.
Yeah, just the Merles being in the ring. Yeah, I feel like once we get to a point to where we have enough to show them, and that's just not from one camp, that's from multiple camps, that we got breed type Merles. I feel that we'll be in a better position to come to the ABKC, because they accept the paperwork. So the show ring, I feel, is just really right around the corner. I mean, when I started this was one of me and Nico's goals, is to have a dog in the ABKC that is a Merle, and that was 4 or 5 years ago, and look how close we are now to them, being accepted. I want to say that they're very much accepted overseas, way more than they are here. So I feel like we're definitely in the right path. We just have to educate the breeders that want to breed Merles on how to, keep it in the standard, keep it bully.
Right. Exactly.
For the longest time, we wanted a micro American bully class, and it wasn't there wasn't a home for some of the style of dogs that we breed, and we kept bringing them out, putting them in the registries, vision, you know, and kept bringing these dogs that fit the characteristics of American Bully, the breed type, the structure. And after a while, it was undeniable that these they needed a home. They belonged somewhere, and then what was it last year? They created the micro American Bully class in the BRC. But it's the same approach, is bringing the right dogs in front of the people that need to see them. That creates something that's undeniable.
Exactly. Yeah, because you could have had the small ones, but they not be functional, and then what?
Mm-hmm.
They'd be looked at, they'd be frowned upon. We'd be like, what are they doing over here? But the fact that y'all brought something so compact and functional with breed type, like you said, they couldn't deny it, to the point let's give them their own class. They graduated now.
That's right.
Yeah.
I gotta go look at a puppy real quick. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that's where we at with it, brothers. Just trying to keep breeding, more breed type Merles, and that's structure and all. It's just not color. It's just not the face. It's top line. Is gait. Is everything. Because to me, that's where the Luger line perception came from. You think of the wrestler, he's a total package, Lex Luger.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lex Luger,
yeah. So with the kennel, everything we want to do is the total package. I want to, breed to a point that y'all can't deny.
Yeah, and you know what? And when that Merle gets introduced into that registry, it's gonna be like Lex Luger body slamming Yokozuna, on that ship, right?
Yeah.
Now let me that's gonna happen.
I'll bring up another thing, is that how we approach ABKC with bringing the Merle in is going to have an effect on it too.
Oh yeah.
This, I see a lot of guys. Don Johnson's in here making some comments, and I feel like when you're very demanding about things, people in charge tend to be like, whatever, But if you come to them with a humble attitude and say, hey, this is the dog, this is what I'm breeding, I feel like we're getting there. I think it's time to start doing it. We start opening a conversation, and that's what we did recently. We didn't come at them aggressively and demand the situation. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dogs with ABKC paperwork, and a lot of them don't need to be in the show ring.
Exactly. I agree. So
I think just keeping a positive idea of the dog being added in, I think is more important than anything. I realize they've been registering Merles for a long time. I get it. They're making the money on registrations.
Right.
But there are lots of dogs that have been registered over the years, and that doesn't necessarily mean they need to be in the show ring. So
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like I said, we just gotta bring them something that's undeniable, man.
Exactly. Undeniable.
Just gotta bring them something that's undeniable. And it takes time. I mean, I feel like it's still a growing breed. The American Bully, they try to say there's no such thing as a perfect dog. I tell people perfect is what your vision is to you. That's your perfect.
Right.
So with the Merles, to me, it's on the same thing, but we also have a standard to hold.
Right.
So as long as we reaching the standard, then yeah, I'm with it. But like you said, presentation is everything. Sometimes you got to come from a little sweeter and just let the dog talk, because some people don't hear. Some people's not going to hear your voice if it's overshadowing your dog. If that makes sense.
Exactly.
So but I feel like we're getting there though.
I think
No,
we are.
but I definitely agree with you, Roger. Is how we're coming into it now. All right, prime example. Dave show. I plan on taking 4 of my Merles up there just so he could put hands on them.
Right.
Because I got a whole
Okay.
nother show I gotta go to that I already committed to. But once he switched it, because at first it was in Indianapolis, and I was like, cool, that's 20 minutes down the street. I'm gonna be there 5 minutes before the gate opens, just so they could see
right.
it and then head. You feel me? But once he switched it, and I think it's still on my way to the other like get together barbecue. And I told myself, since you're gonna be there, I'm gonna make it a point to stop there so you can see these Merles. I'm gonna bring all 5. I'm gonna bring the mama and the sister and the 3 brothers, just so you can see like we are actually in the right path. Because Don Johnson was actually trying to get me to come to the one in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he was real adamant, like, bro, I need you there, so we're gonna show them, and I was on it, but something happened, something with the family happening, and I wasn't able to make it. But definitely just, face front, face value. This is what we're breeding. This is the type you see. You feel me? Watch it move, watch it walk. We got structure. We got great movement, and hopefully that give us a little quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have, and if anybody hasn't seen Brian's dogs, make sure you look him up on Facebook. Like at the top of his profile is one of his dogs. So looking forward, you're looking at the dogs you have now, right? What are you looking to do from here? Like this is where you're at now, but I'm pretty sure that's probably not. You probably don't think this is the perfect dog.
Job not finished.
Yeah.
Job not
Yeah.
Job
Is it ever?
No. Listen, when I get cat feet, it might be. I think. But I feel like I'm lacking. What? Okay, so me to break down my dog, I need more of a spread, and I need cat feet for me to feel like I'm all right there.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just incorporating the right blood. That's the best thing you can do, because certain bloods bring certain flaws. You double and tripling on certain things, it might bring up some other stuff.
Right.
So it's just being real strategic on what I'm breeding to, and just keeping the standard within what I'm breeding into. So like I got a big papa going to a Lazarus daughter. If y'all know, Lazarus is it's the heat stroke, inbred heat stroke. Heat stroke is the repeat of them trying to build Lucky, right? So bam, I got that, incorporating that more Lucky into it. Because they're already, let's see, MG is 4 times Lucky, 3 times Miyagi, 2 times Grimm, 2 times Magoo. You know what I mean? So just incorporating more cleaner type blood to what I'm trying to do. That's my goal.
Yeah, so just keep pushing. And the good part, I guess, for you, like you'd have a nice structured Merle right now. But one thing I love about that is like you have a Merle, right? If you get you a female and you're like, hey, this female is close to the mark, right? It takes one breeding to your Merle male, boom, and now you've got Merle versions of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
I was blessed. Merle, she's a great producer. She produced Jackie. To me, Jackie is Merlin with a spread at an inch shorter.
Right.
And as you know, when you have a top tier female that is a producer, that's all you can want, is for her to produce herself. Like, you can luck up on your male, but I felt like I could create another one of her just because she did so well. So that's why I give Nikos a lot of flowers, because I really do feel that she's the sauce to my program. I took it a little further with the breedings and stuff, but Marilyn, I promoted her like a stud. I put her out there to the point I had people wanting puppies off of her before they knew how I was going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like people didn't know. My first actual breed was supposed to be the Chaos. Mike Sierra Chaos, right? And then I wound up switching it, and I went to Riot. She didn't take like the first time, and then I went to R2. I didn't tell nobody. I ain't tell nobody because, like I said, that was my first time whelping, so I want to make sure everything was cool. I ain't announced nothing to the puppy was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was making sure everything was cool, just because I ain't trying to take no losses like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just part of it. I think a lot of people aren't prepared for that either,
They're not.
because we as breeders, it's kind of our fault at the same time, because we'll have a litter and we'll share some puppies, and we don't share none of the problems. We don't share, we don't say, oh, whatever, this puppy got this and we had to take it to the vet and it cost $500 to save this puppy and all this other shit. No, we don't share that shit out.
No, we don't.
Because the community itself doesn't have a whole lot of understanding for that. Like, if you had a problem and you shared that problem, then the whole community would be like, we can't fuck with his dog. They have this problem, right. So a lot gets hidden away, right? A lot gets hidden away. If you're a stud owner and you feel like your stud brings value to the community, but you also know at the same time that community is so critical that it's going to tear your dog down if they see every possible angle. Well, guess what? He's just going to show you the good shit. And at the end of the day, if the dog does produce well for you, then you're going to get in it and be like, hey, that dog's the greatest shit in the world. He created a great litter for me, and you never saw him, and you never saw the shit that was wrong with him. Yeah. So what's his motivation to bring the dog out? You know what I mean?
But that also goes with a lot of things, because when I first started breeding, I also learned that every dog isn't a producer.
That's right.
Like that dog could be amazing, and not shoot his look at all.
Right. Well, and part of that problem is people don't associate. That's where, people say, look at the dog in front of you. And for the most part, I agree. But the problem is that you see a crazy ass stud bred to a classic female, right? And then they get they get this boy that looks almost like dad, right?
Yes.
And they start pushing him, but he doesn't produce. Why? He can't. He's 50% his mom.
Right.
He's going to be a consistent producer when he's half a classic.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Right.
You have to pay attention to the pedigree. Yes, look at the dog in front of you, but look, like, if there's a bunch of ponies on the bottom side of there, like, you have to realize that shit's going to come back. It's going to come back to you. You're looking for generational dogs of type. Generational. You look at the generations and be like, bull, just everything you're looking for. Not saying it's perfect. Obviously, you're looking at a picture this big.
Right.
Go visit every dog. So
that's one of my secrets, though, Roger. I'll tell y'all that. I pick all my dogs and all my breedings off the female.
Yeah.
The stud is just extra. He's just extra. But if I don't like the female, I don't care. I'm not picking nothing out of it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
See, so you touched on a lot of people breed. They breed to the top of the pedigree. They look at the stud. They look at what creates that stud, when they should be looking at what created the mama that created that stud. Where is she at? And then the mama of your female, where is she? If it's terrier on top and bottom, you're rolling the dice more than somebody who, found a stud that has nothing but bulls in the female portion, and then your female comes from nothing but bulls, right? That's calculated risk.
Right.
The other shit is just a shot in the dark.
Yeah. And that's I got kind of like attached to Coco. Like, that was my female I'm looking for in the pedigree, especially when it comes to like grim stuff. You're looking for Coco. Coco's I've had the pleasure of being around Coco, seeing her in person. I know what kind of dog Coco is. Sam doesn't bring Coco out, but if he did, she would embarrass most. Like, she's a crazy bitch. Like, that is a crazy female.
Right.
So you want pieces of her in your pedigree. If you're looking at Grim stuff, you want Coco in there, right? Because
Yeah.
she's a great piece to that puzzle. And I know there's other bloodlines where there's very dominant females in those lines, you know. So those are the ones you look for. You know, it's just there's two. Even when you're looking at the stud, you say, who was the dominant female in this blood off of this stud? Where is she?
Because you will find a lot of the times the stud just look like a better version of the mama.
Yeah.
That's why she's like a male version of the mama, probably with more exaggerated, features and whatnot. But that mama plays a big part, man.
Yeah. And the weird part is if you look at, so I'll give you an example. Machiavelli is off of Coco. Coco's.
I love him. I love him. Love Machiavelli.
Now, the weird part is if you look at Machiavelli, he doesn't really look that much like Coco. What he does look like is his grandmother.
See? And that's another part people don't understand about genetics.
Yeah.
That's why your son look like your grandmama. You see what I'm saying? The same thing with the dogs.
Yeah.
So that's why the female is very important. Very important.
He looks a lot like his grandmother, which is directly through Coco. You know, the same. His head is bigger, obviously, than his grandmother, right?
Right.
But it has that same basic shape, and that's a lesson to learn. To say, okay, she might not put a giant head on this dog, but he might get the head size from his father and get the shape from his grandmother or his mother.
Right.
It's such a variable. It's hard, so hard to plan out. Like at the end of the day, you're just rolling the dice.
Yeah.
The more good dogs that contain those elements that you want, that you can get in the pedigree, the better the odds are.
The better the chance you're throwing a 7, you're throwing 11. You know what I mean? You know, it's just those one-offs. It's like snake eyes. Oh, fuck.
But it's also you just got to know how to breed too, because I know a lot of people that they come to the point of wanting to outdo their female, and it's hard when you have an extreme female. So that's I don't like me. I would think like 7 will have a lot of goings because his features are so much more than most females.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And what you want to do is you just want to add. You don't want the female to overdo because you ain't gonna really get much. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to have something lacking, it's like, because at this point I'm like, dang, how can I outproduce MG? Like, dang, who can I need? All right, I need a bigger dog. Okay, well, she got the bone. Well, who got the bigger size than her? And it's not that many out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 7 is a different dog. I just seen him and touched him in person. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And on top that, his mama pedigree is still able to throw nice, compact, short dogs.
His mama.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't get
put a lot of studs. His mama put a lot of studs to bed.
Yeah, I remember first we were in Iowa, and I was like, we got there, and you know when I saw the pictures of Remy when she was young, she looked like she was standard material, like she was big, but I was like golden child sister, like you know what I mean. But so I was thinking, man, this girl's like a standard, and then we go to Iowa, and Remy the Hemi shows up, and I'm like, holy shit! I mean, I felt like she was wider than she was tall. Like she was just crazy, a crazy female. And it takes a mad scientist like Sam Leam to put a bitch that crazy and 0 together in a breeding. And just happened that everything he wanted from that female and everything he wanted from that male got put together in one dog.
That fine medium we look for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that fine medium we look for, man. I mean, people said the same thing when I took R2 to Merle, because Merle's like 16.8, 16.7.
Right.
Like I like she tamped out as a standard.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But her structure is good. Her top line's there. So they were like, why would you take you're gonna have short dogs with high rears and you ain't gonna get no colors. And I was like, well, that just means I don't know pedigree, because I had out of 10, I had what's that 2, 4, 6, 8, I literally had sets of 2s of different colors.
Mm.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people just once again do your homework.
Yeah.
Well,
Study.
that golden child blood's really good at shrinking down, and
It is.
a lot of people don't look at it that way. How often do you see a borderline classic female, that's just really lacking, get bred to something directly off of golden child or something off of golden child? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To try to shrink that down. It looks like a phenotype mismatch. It really does.
Right.
Because after you're at a certain level, you don't want to breed a dog that's substantially height difference to your dogs, right? Because then it's create an inconsistency. You're going to go all over the place all over again.
Right.
You were finally to the point where you were consistently producing 14, 15-inch dogs and you wanted to stay there. You sure as hell wouldn't introduce a 12-inch dog into it because it's screw your shit up. Next couple generations, you're going to be up and down again till you smooth out. But
that's also like knowing your pedigree too, because Golden Child was the smallest dog out that litter, right?
Yeah, for sure. He was the shortest of them all.
Yeah, so all the other dogs are pretty big.
But I mean, his sisters weren't.
Yeah.
His sisters weren't incredibly like. Sam's got another one that he also never brings out, and I love this girl. Like I've tried my best. I'm like, I need that dog. He ain't giving her up.
Yeah, covered up. But
oh my god, I love that dog. I'll go over his house. She'll come out. I'll be like, shit, I'm just gonna take this dog over here, and I just go over and pet her. I love her to death. Like she's just golden child blowed up, bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just an amazing female, chocolate tri female, just beautiful. I think she's tri. No, she might just be chocolate. Okay. But love that dog to death. He ain't trying to let her go though. But so there were multiples from that litter, and just like Seven's mom, another one, really bully female from that breeding. So even though Golden Child was like the only micro from that breeding, but overall they were all pretty decently
yeah.
Like there wasn't what I heard. Standards popping out of that.
Right, yeah. I mean my range is like 14 to 16, 17 type ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty broad.
Yeah, But I like move. I gotta have an active dog. Yeah.
Right. But that's the pocket. That's the pocket height. He said he likes pockets.
Yeah, right to short standard. I'm okay. Right up to short standard. Like if it's just over the line into standard, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get no taller than that. Unless it's for some reason I'm weird. Like I love XLs, man. I would just love to have an XL just to build a monster out of them. You know what I mean?
One of my first Merles I got into was an XL. Remember that real famous split face Merle that was probably the XL? I can't remember his name. Yeah, but he was one of the ones that, like I said, that I got into it, and then it was just like it was just too tall for my liking.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started looking for a more shorter Merle dog, I guess. And it's just
Well, that's one of the problems. I don't think I could have any longevity with the XL. I think it would be like a short term, like a 2-year project to see if I could just build a flipping monster. But do I see me filling a kennel full of XLs? I just can't see it. Like that's just
one thing I've always thought. What's you saying, bro?
Too much dog food, too much dog shit, and their drive. The drive the energies don't match in this house. Like our dogs get exercise, they get exercised daily. But the XL, I feel like currently has too much drive for what we want and the balance in our house.
It definitely got to fit your lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the dog definitely got to fit your lifestyle.
Well, that's another reason because, not many people mention this, but as well as anybody else, you go to a show if you've got your back, if you're looking in the ring and to your back, you hear some dog freaking, what is it?
XL.
Exactly.
Most of the time it's
It's an XL 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
unless you in Ohio, they got some Frenchies. No, I'm playing. Hey, them little things be going crazy, boy. Woo.
But that's another reason why I think you need to start bringing these dogs. You're going to lose some height. Don't get me wrong. You're going to lose some height, but you need to start bringing these dogs to bullies because, like, these bullies do not have that shitty attitude.
No, they don't. The temperament is definitely day and night when it comes to
right.
them. I could say that. Yeah.
And maybe they like it. I don't know. Maybe they want their dog to be hot like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't do no.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's all XLs, but the ones that. So that's the problem. It's not all XLs. It's just the ones we notice.
Yeah,
that leaves the biggest. That leaves the biggest impression on on us.
Unfortunately,
there's a lot of XL. I've met a lot of XLs that are very docile, very chill, go with the flow.
Oh yeah.
You know, but then it's the ones that you're like, God damn, I need to stay the fuck away from that dog. Those are the ones that imprint on our minds.
That's right. What I mean? It really does. It really does. So they got like the spike collar and the logging chain. It's got a little bit too much extra skin. You know, it needs to be like a little too chubby skin. It's always that one. Biting something, barking, carrying on.
Biting something.
Nah, for real. And the crazy part, I feel that XL breeders, I feel like if XL breeders was pocket breeders, a lot of stuff would be better. And that's just because, like I said, when I go to taller and shorter breeders, they have to pay attention to way more stuff than what we do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the tedious stuff that they pay attention to on the linkiness and still have to have great movement and be that linky, like to breed good XL. That's why I trusted YO Bullies because her program was just so consistent. And I'm like, these just some big ass, these some big XLs, but they look standard. They got muscle, bone, they active, they're not, you know what I mean, flopping everywhere. They just real good. So I think it's the art of the breeders. You see what I'm saying? Like we feel we kind of looking to different size dogs that you really have to tap into that art and perfect it. You see?
Well, that's a good example of what the XL community wants their dogs to look like is what they look like. Like they wouldn't keep breeding them if they weren't looking the way they wanted them to look.
Right.
So that's what the XL should look like to them. That's what they think.
Well, I mean, it's also what they breed to.
Right.
They're XL breeders that want to breed to other XLs. Right. And if your gene pool is they all look similar, you're going to get similar results.
Right.
How can you change something without a change of changing the course, right? You can't say I'm going this way and then I need to go over here, but you're not going to change direction.
Right.
You're never going to make it to the other destination. So
this is true.
I mean, if you want to add certain features and characteristics, you got to go breed to it.
So that's what you did. That is breeding, shorten it up. So take an XL to like a standard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to lose some height, but at least if you're going toward a standard size dog, you're not going to lose a ton of height. And if you catch a pup, not me personally, I'm just saying, if the bottom of what is the bottom of the range of XL? What is it? 20 inches? I don't even know.
It's 20 inches. Yeah. That's 20.
Now,
20 for a male.
Here we go again. I didn't even turn that back on. Anyway,
that's the boss.
Yeah. So 20 inches, let's say 20 inches is the minimum. You got a 25-inch dog, you breed it to a standard, and that dog
25.
Whatever. I'm just making them up. I don't know about Jurassic Park.
That's a big fucking dog.
But they knock it down to that very minimum. It's a 20-inch dog. You know what I mean? But it was able to pick up breed type. Then for me, you're still within the range, but you were able to pick up breed type. You were able to change the headpiece. For me, that seems like a worthy sacrifice.
Yeah, but that's the part that they gotta understand. they'll go to something shorter and wider and expect that's like trying to skip a step,
Right.
but you don't skip a step. You back and tracking. Everybody want to take the shortcut, but what they tell us growing up, when you cheat, you only cheat yourself. You see what I'm saying? So you thinking, all right, I'm gonna go shorter, more extremer. I'm all right. So that's where your high rears come in. That's where all kind of other stuff come in. It's not a consistent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and in every progression, you know, and that was one thing I talked to Dave. I wanted to be very clear with him about when I talked to him about it. I was like, when you progressed from the American Pit Bull Terrier to what we call the American Bully, right? For a period of time, that dog was not great, right?
Okay.
And then they cleaned it up. So that's how it's happened a multitude of times. When you push the American Bully to the next level, it initially is going to fall apart a little bit. You're going to introduce some issues, right? But then you spend time cleaning that back up again. And then once it's cleaned up, boom, now you're at that new level. But when you first push to a new level, it's just like working on your car for the first time. You're probably going to fuck something up, you know, but you're going to learn. You're going to learn. So I think, you know, you've got to be willing to make some kind of mistakes, because some of the best dogs I've ever seen were off of just crazy ass breedings that I know a lot of breeders would have been like, I ain't doing that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not introducing that into my bloodline. I'm not going to introduce that problem into my bloodline. Right. But then 2 generations, that same breeder that took that chance has a dog that's a grand champion standing in the ring. You know what I mean? Because he was willing to take that step. He was willing.
Well, not just that. I mean, you look at your national winning dogs, right? As of recent, Chaos to, you know, Dave Martinez took Chaos to his female. You know, Chaos was significantly shorter. Blue is a full standard dog, beautiful breed type, you know, movement wise. And then you take Zero, right? You have who you know, Mark Wahlberg is a beautiful dog. Is he competitive in today's grand champion class? I don't think so. But the mama, Zero's mom, who is Coco, right?
Yeah.
And Zero's mom, Coco. I mean, she sweats breed type, like big bully, ferocious bitch, right? Who would ever thought those 2 dogs would make a national? It's the risk you take. I mean, this breeding is already a risk. Might as well do something outside the box and take that risk, because you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. You know, the weird part is that if you'd have put Mark Wahlberg and Coco in the same room together, you'd have thought she was the male.
It'd be like that.
It was exactly
crazy.
Exactly like that. We were at Nationals and they were stacking up Zero and Mark Wahlberg, and I was away. I was walking around. I just walked up on him, and here's this dog that looks a lot like Zero. And I walk up and I'm like, hey, is this Zero's son? And they were like, no, it's his dad. And I was like, oh, my bad. But that's how much smaller Mark Wahlberg is than Zero. Like, he is substantially smaller than Zero. Like, to the point where I just thought it was one of his sons. Like, I didn't realize, you know. But the looking between them, looking at them, you can certainly see where these 2 dogs are related. Like, there's no.
I agree. Yeah. That's strong. Them strong genes, because isn't Hangman a blue son?
A blue son, yeah.
Yeah, blue.
Yeah. And I was in the ring with his litter mate. I thought that was Hangman. They look so much alike. That dog was so damn beautiful. I mean, gate rear was amazing. Look, I wasn't even mad I lost to him. So that's how great that dog looked. But I'm just saying the consistency of the blood, because you got Blue, then you got his son, then you got the litter mate. It carried the breed type throughout the whole litter. And I feel like that's at the point where we need to get with the Merles, is that to where you could breed the granddaddy to this, and it just carries all the way out from the male's perspective. Like, we know the female, right? But from the male perspective, to where the males could constantly produce that breed type look.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So,
Man.
for you, would you rather? So, I think you mentioned this earlier. I just want to kind of confirm that you would rather the female be the Merle, or would you rather the male be the Merle?
I'd rather the female.
Okay, and that's because you feel like more consistently the pattern is passed on correctly that way.
Yeah, and that she has to have the breed type, or that the litter won't be consistent. I feel like you're going to get your most bulliest dogs from your more bullier females, especially dealing with the Merles. Especially dealing with the Merles. Like, I don't think decent Merles that had decent bodies, but when they got bred to a bullier dog, them old features kind of stumbled back up a little bit. And so you seen the more loose skin around the jaws, you know what I mean? More sniper type stuff.
Right.
So from my understanding, I just feel that I'd rather have a very breed type female, Merle, and then breed her to males. But if I was put in a position where I have vice versa, then I would just definitely breed to a very clean, like I'll breed to a grand champion female.
Right.
Like I'm breeding to something that is structurally that I've been through the battles and all that stuff, so I could try to get my fine medium.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But that's all it is Merle or not. You know what I mean? You got to look and say, if I'm going to put this piece together and this piece together, which sometimes this works, don't get me wrong. Sometimes.
Right.
I've seen two dogs with the shitty ass feet that I've ever seen. That I would just have been like, I ain't breeding these dogs. I wouldn't breed them dogs together. They both got terrible feet. You know what I mean? And puppies come out and got good feet. And because generations of dogs behind them had good feet, it was just that last breeding, that last generation that introduced those terrible feet. Now, if you have generations of bad feet, that's a different story.
Right. Have you ever seen a dog grow out of bad features?
I've seen a significant underbite close up to acceptable tolerance.
Yeah.
I've seen.
I don't seen feet straighten out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see like the older they got, the straighter their feet got. Crazy. Like
as the chest spread, maybe turn the feet in. Is that what you're saying?
Nah, just like maybe so. Okay, I give you that. Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, it's not unusual for dogs. I've seen dogs that be kind of easty westy when they're young. Just as their chest builds, right, at that muscularity, especially in the shoulders,
right,
it just rotates those arms back around.
Okay, that's probably what it is then. That's probably what I was saying.
But you know, if you see a dog and it's a year and a half old or a year old, and it's got crazy ass, you know what makes me nuts is long toes. I can't do them.
Man,
hair feet. You don't like hair feet?
I can't do them long ass toes. Like I gotta have short toes.
Hey man, just give them a pedicure, some nail polish.
I know talk about the toe itself.
Yeah. You talk about when it flats out and it ain't knuckle.
Yeah, well, not only that,
it's like
it's long. You just look at like, most of my dogs have short, stubby toes, you know, and they're up on them little short toes. You know, some of them got these long ass pit bull toes, and I'm like, I can't do that. I don't want that.
That's one of my pet peeves. The more I got into the shows, the top line has gotten, you know, more of my pet peeve about. Yeah.
Well, at some point, it has to be. At some point, it has to be the drill down, right? It has to.
Yeah.
When we get to the point where we have breed type, and this is what we want, breed type wise, then we have to drill down, and we have to start. We have to start nitpicking about every single thing.
And it's okay. And it's okay that we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
People be like, "Oh man, you don't know." That's how you better a situation by being more secure.
Yeah,
it's parental guidance. So however the hell you want to put it.
And then, honestly, if I got a female that was just right there, then I would be like, okay, time to breed her to something crazy. Yeah, add more to it. You know what I mean? And we may mess things up a little bit for a minute, but we're gonna, after we add more, then we'll clean up again. But just how big can the American Bully get? No one has made that. There's
no cap. As of right now, there's no cap.
There is none.
What, height wise or weight or height?
Just overall aesthetics,
bone,
like,
head, chest spread, just massive. How big can a dog be? How can There's no cap. They didn't say, "Oh, you can have a maximum bone of this." No, they're like, "We never told you to stop." Bring all.
We just gave you the template.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the template. Put your spin on it.
Some breeds are very definitive about that. The dog should be this tall and the measurements should be this, and all this is very spelled out. Right. The American Bully is very purposely not spelled out. They give you a template to work on, but they don't put caps on it.
Right.
They don't say.
So I think they kind of do. They gave us a standard, and I feel that a lot of us just don't care about the standard to breed to it.
No, they gave you a standard, but does it say in the standard how much bone the dog should have?
Nah, but it at least should be mobile, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but
I mean, if this dog's got
a dog that can run and he has 20-ounce pop bottles for legs, well, then go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they didn't put a limit on it.
No,
they didn't say the dog has to run a marathon. The dog, it's a companion dog. If
that's
he can run
true.
outside and take a shit and run back in and jump on the couch, then that's the accomplishment that he needs to accomplish. You know what I mean?
You got me there. You got me there.
I think, for a time, I think that's over now. I think a lot of breeders like you and like others that are saying, you know what, we're gonna keep pushing this limit. I mean, 10 years ago, I look at your Merle, and 10 years ago, I look back at some of the older Merles, they wasn't on that level. You know what I mean? There wasn't that many. There weren't many Merles that could stand next to yours back in the day. So there's clearly a progression.
Yeah, we try.
In the right direction.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's it. But it just comes with educating, and it comes with us educating the newer people, and for the newer people, like one of my hardest things when I came in is like, do you trust your vet or do you trust the breeder that's been breeding for 20 years? You see what I'm saying? It's like, do I trust his experience or do I trust my vet that doesn't really breed dogs? He just does the female part of it. Now, granted, I have a great vet, but
I would trust my vet for technical things that require lab work and scientific data. I would trust
that part. Okay,
but when it comes to this breed, I'm the expert of my dogs. You're the expert of your dogs.
That's right.
He's the expert of his dogs. My vet is not an expert on my dogs.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, what was the old school formula? I never learned it. When they're in heat, after they ovulate, it's how many days and then how many days?
5 days. 5 days, something like that.
Ron used to know it by heart. He would.
What? Ovulation?
Yeah, after ovulation, it was so many days.
2 to 3 days, right? You got to let the eggs mature.
Right. So some guys went by days. Right. That's how you could give them all the progesterone numbers in the world. They don't give a shit. They're going to do it on this.
Just let me know when she ovulates.
Yeah. We don't give a shit what the numbers are.
You also have to, before you do the breeding, so you find ovulation, before you do the breeding, see if there's a decline in progesterone, right? Because a lot of time, you want to know when ovulation is, but you want to see that spike. If there's a decline, then I think you're wasting a breeding.
Right.
Right.
But it's so many varieties though, bro. What about a split heat? What about a light heat? What about I got a female that bleeds a lot? I got a female that very don't bleed. Only way I could tell Maryland's on is that she swells up real big.
Right.
That's it. But she is naturally kind of big, so you kind of gotta pay attention. Like, does it look bigger than it normally look? What I mean? Because it's weird, bro. So that's why I tell people, because Alex, he'll be the one to tell me, like, one day she ovulated. All right, well, you got this. Shit, he been doing this 20 plus years. He ain't worried about that. Me, I'm running to the vet, got to check the numbers, and I'm going through this. You know what I mean? To the point they had to be like, listen, bro, it's okay. She's going to take. She ain't ready yet. So,
well, the weird part is, as I did my homework, I started to realize that So old school, I do it on this day and this day, right?
Oh, 9, 9, 11, 13 or some shit.
Something
7,
like
9,
that.
11.
Yeah.
So then I started doing progesterone tests and I started looking at my typical, I would say typical female, right?
Yeah.
Their numbers kind of fall in that range. Like I can get how they came to that conclusion, right? Because data wise, it kind of backed it up.
Right.
But then I also found that it's not always the case because
No.
I've got females that once you see her bleed, she's a 5 the next day. Like,
Oh, see.
once she's a 5, I've got one that once she hits a 5, you be ready to breed her the next day because she's going to be a 20. She goes from 5 to 20 like that.
I can see that.
And I've got some that this Frenchie right here on the floor, I have. I don't know.
Wasn't she in heat for like 14 years?
For literally
her whole life, she was in heat.
I can't even remember how long it was, how many progesterone tests we did on this dog, and she was a 0.2 for a month.
Damn.
Like she never moved up. Never. She just okay, come on. Right. And just out of the blue. I mean, I don't even know how old she is now. I think she's 3. I don't even know. We could never catch it. We could never catch it. You know?
Yeah.
And it took a lot. I mean, back to back, day after day after day of progesterone testing, because we knew if she's so volatile that she's not moving up, then when she does, she is probably going to spike hard. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you were using the old school method on this Frenchie, you would have never saw it.
Missed it.
You would have never
been missing it.
You would just chopped it up. Yeah, you chalked it up to she can't be bred.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what you would have done. You'd have said, yeah, she's just not
every female different. I ain't gonna lie. Merle, she normally comes in every 6 months on time. Lala, she didn't have her first one till she was 11 months. Marilyn, last time when I bred her, she spiked. And my vet was like, maybe because it was on 4th of July, because she always come in around on the 7th. I mean, around the 4th of July. They're like, maybe the fireworks, because she went from, like you said, like a 4 to a 20.
Yeah.
Spark, straight up. I was like, he was like, oh, she's ready right now. You need to go to Army, Indiana again. I'm like, oh, we gone.
Yeah.
Real.
Exactly.
Like I said, they spark so high. It varies. It's like women. You don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you never will. I've been married 30 years. I don't know. I still don't know shit.
He said, I ain't figured it out yet.
After 30 years, you just come to accept that you ain't gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that's where you just get a smile and a nod. Okay, baby.
If I got through a 24-hour period without getting a pledge can thrown at me, that's a win. That's just all it is.
That's why he wears a hat. That's just all lumpy.
It's armor. It's armored. All right, brother. Well, we're rolling up on time here. We're going at the 9 o'clock hour. I just want to give you a shout out. Appreciate you coming on. You know, it was when I have a Merle, obviously I see another person with a Merle and I'm like, hey, we need to get these Merle breeders together on occasion, have a conversation.
Right.
We're kind of from 2 different groups of people, obviously. So getting us and seeing what's our mindset as a community versus our mindset within our cliques, obviously, because this, our community is pretty cliquey. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know? So it was good to get a couple different people together, have a conversation about the Merle, see if we're all on the same page of what we're shooting after. And I think we really are. And hopefully ABKC begins to recognize that and sees, okay, these guys are serious about this shit.
Just got to bring them out.
Bring them out.
Put them in their face.
Man. Yeah. Once again, man, I thank y'all for allowing me on your platform. I thank you for the invite. Like I told you at the beginning, this was on my bucket list to reach this platform to have this conversation with y'all. I know we talk through the messages. I know we talk at the shows, but to be mentioned amongst y'all, even when y'all mentioned me with Dave on the last one, man, like I almost keep it a buck, I almost shed a tear because it's so much hard work we put in this stuff to get to where we at. And sometimes you need the notoriety from your peers to know that you're doing good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else around, you can have a bunch of yes people around you. Yeah, you doing good. Yeah, you doing this. But to have people like you, Han, and you, Roger, that I admire y'all working, y'all programming what y'all do. Look at me in that light. I'm gratitude, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh man.
And don't let it go to your head. I want you to still be able to get your head through the door.
Nah,
Nice,
never
brother.
that. Cause like, hey, the job ain't over. Like I tell you, we still
Yeah.
got some work to do. We still got some work to
Yeah.
do.
And
But y'all let me know I'm headed in the right direction. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm
Oh yeah, you got
forward
beautiful
to seeing-
dogs, brother. Beautiful
looking
dogs.
forward to seeing what you do with it. But yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, when I saw your dogs at Rumble in the Jungle, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it right there. I like that.
Appreciate
You know,
it, bro.
I feel like your dog right now, this year, for sure,
Mhm.
if they would allow him into the ABKC show ring, I think he would do well. I think he
I
would do
appreciate
well.
it, man. That means a lot coming from y'all. It really do.
Where is he at in BRC? He's already granted, right?
Nah. His mother champed out. He almost. I got one best of breed. Those are his behind me.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I got to win a best of breed, I believe, to get champion. I got all the points, but I think I got to win a best of breed.
Yep. And that's a hard one to get. That's a hard one.
It is. I mean, once they hit a year, once you get out that puppy stage and you in that year pocket,
Yep.
competition get heavy, man. So,
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
Well,
for him to be doing good, I appreciate it.
I wish you best of luck.
Yes,
I honestly, I think he'll get it done. I really do. I think he deserves it.
Thank you, sir.
You know,
When's
good.
Sorry. When's the next time people can see your dogs?
So we outside. So I'm gonna be at con shows on May 11th, the BBKC show on the 11th. I'm gonna be at Brad's show, which is the BRC Sanction show on the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can think of for May. So it's like 2-3 shows in May I probably hit.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad
There you go.
show. I think we're going to be there, so that'd be a good
Okay,
one.
that's good.
See you there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely coming to that one. I'm planning on bringing, cause like is that the same day? No, the other one's the 18th, one's the 25th. Yeah, I'm gonna bring all my dogs up there. So I'm gonna have Merle, Jackie, which is MG2's sister, and Blue, which is his brother. So just
Yeah.
just bringing them out, man, so everybody can see.
Yeah. That's the best way.
That's the way to
That's
do
the
it.
best way.
All right, guys, if you would do me a favor today, run over to YouTube, find us on YouTube, right? We're trying to get to, which I don't think is unrealistic. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And if we can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to do a huge giveaway, like a big one.
That's
but
good.
we got to
A
hit
big
1,000 subscribers. It's the Go Rogue Podcast on YouTube. Just run over there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Boom. You'll get a notification. We don't care if you watch us on Facebook. That's fine. If you want to watch us on YouTube, whatever. But help us get to that subscribe number. If you would, we greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep bringing people from our community, active people, not just the top breeders in the world, but hey, we're going to bring in some breeders that are out there grinding.
They're doing the right thing to
That's
become
right.
the top breeder in the world.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
So we're bringing
They gotta do
everybody,
the right things.
everybody on. So if
Yep.
you would run over, please, to YouTube and give us a sub, we'd appreciate it. We'll see you next week. We are going to be bringing on Ray Wilson next week.
Okay.
And this Friday, I'm going to be on his podcast. We're going to be looking at one of my pedigrees on his podcast on his Facebook.
Okay.
I appreciate you, Brian.
Yeah.
It's been a great
I
time.
appreciate y'all, man. Likewise, brothers.
The exact conversation I figured we'd have. I figured it would be.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. All right. Till next time. We'll see you.
Next
All right,
time,
y'all.
brother. All right, brother.
Good night.
Peace.
Yeah.